Hi, I'm josephrlewis, and I write adventures. But I also play adventures that other people wrote, and I want to talk about a very cool one that I played very recently. It is called Wraithlands. It looks like this. Wraithlands is a setting inspired by Scottish folklore. It's a collection of adventures, and it's also an extremely rules-light system, all contained in this one book. How rules-light is it? Well, I will tell you the one rule. There's only one rule. When you do something risky, you have to define what that risk is. What are you at risk of happening to you? And then you build a pool of d6s, a dice pool. You get one die if you are unharmed. You get another die if you're using one of your magical relics. You get one die if one of your teammates helps you and therefore puts themselves also at risk. And then you get one more die if you have some kind of situational advantage or the enemy has a weakness that you are taking advantage of. So you roll up to 4 dice, and you look at the one highest result. You're just looking for the one highest die that you roll. If that highest die is a 6, then you absolutely succeed. You get everything you want exactly the way you want it. If the highest die is a 4 or 5, then you mostly succeed and maybe something disadvantageous happens to you along the way. And if you roll a 1, 2, or 3, you fail completely, and the risk that was defined happens to you. You can be injured, you can lose your relics, you can lose equipment, people can turn against you, you get captured, all of the bad things happen. And that's it. That's the one rule. That's the entire system. Your character sheet is basically just a list of relics, items in your inventory, and there's only about 7 of them. So there are no stats. There are no skills. There are no spells. There is nothing else for the player to be worried about, which is pretty cool. Similarly, a monster's stat block is just a little paragraph of flavor text. It just describes what does this monster look like, how does it behave in general, what can it do. There are no numbers. It has no AC, it has no to hit, it does no damage, it has no damage dice. All of this is handled narratively. So, Wraithlands is a story game, and that can be a little tricky for those of us who have been playing crunchier games for many, many years. We're used to having a lot of rules, we're used to having guardrails that explain what you can and can't do, and how those mechanics should play out fairly and equally over time. But once you get used to the flow of playing a story game like Wraithlands, where you're just talking and negotiating what could happen, what might happen, what should happen, the game really starts to sing. We played Wraithlands last week for about 2 hours, and we were in a region called the Barrowwoods Gullet. And in that game session, we did a whole bunch of stuff. We met a group of downtrodden pilgrims. We tried to rob an icon peddler. We fought off an ambush of desperate pilgrims. We sold a fox pelt to the mysterious and eerie Tanner in exchange for a magical boon. We then defeated a group of evil priests and explored a memorial to ancient dead saints and birds. We sold human skins to the eerie Tanner for a birdman warrior who is now part of the group. We then scared off a flock of shadow creatures. And lastly, we fell into a bottomless black lake. So we played 9 encounters in just 2 hours. It was full of roleplay and exploration and banter and laughs and creepy moments. We had a ton of fun. It was fantastic. And we only rolled dice 3 times for trying to rob the peddler, for fighting off the ambush, and for attacking the priests. Otherwise, it was all just talk the rest of the time. I came away from that experience really loving it, loving a game that is 99% roleplay and just 1% rules and mechanics and crunch. It made me want to write content in that style to create my own rules-light game setting system book. So I started thinking, how would you go about doing that? What would you need to do or create to make your own rules-light game setting book like Wraithlands? So to create a rules-light game book setting like Wraithlands, I think you only need the following components. I think you need a good map or maps so that you can communicate what does this space look like and where are the things that we're about to write about. We need random encounter table or tables, depending on how you divide up the space. Maybe there are subspaces and sections of your landscape or your setting. Again, stuff that we've already done before in our regular adventure writing. We then need to write narrative locations, adventure locations. And by narrative, I'm just saying we write all the words we normally write, but there are no numbers. There are no damage values. There are no saving throws. There's no treasure values. There's no target DCs. There's no math. There's no mechanics. We just write, here's a space. It looks like this. There are some people or monsters, and they look like that. This is what they are doing, and this is what might happen because of the way they're behaving. Which is kind of the stuff that we're already writing when we write our adventures now, isn't it? And lastly, we need to create a bestiary for our creatures, which are presumably very new and novel. We're not just writing about more elves and goblins. But again, all we need for our bestiary is a little piece of text that just says, what does this creature look like? How does it behave? What does it want? So the GM knows how to describe it, because there's no math. There are no numbers. There are no values here. Everything is resolved narratively. What makes sense? What does everyone agree on? So even creating the bestiary is just a creative writing exercise, which is pretty great. Not everything was great, though. I did have a few criticisms of the Wraithlands book, mostly that it was not organized in exactly the same way that I would prefer to have organized it. For example, there was no introduction to the book where it clearly explains what are these factions, what do they want, where do they come from, how do they interact with each other. That would have been hugely helpful. Instead, you discover that the factions exist by reading about the adventure locations, and a place will say, oh, and in this location there are these people. And you have to say, well, who are these people? Well, you have to go to the bestiary and look up the description of them to try to figure out who they are and what they want. What are their goals? How to roleplay them? And it would have been more helpful to have those higher order pieces of information more clearly laid out and presented for the GM, rather than having them scattered about throughout the entire length of the book, in my opinion. To give a more concrete example, there were several adventure locations in the game section that we played last week where they mentioned the priests of Ildu. But they just said there were some priests of Ildu there. They didn't say anything about them. So then I would have to flip to the bestiary at the end of the book, and I would have to look up, what are these priests? And I would have to read a couple paragraphs of text. There are no bullets here. And I have to look up, what do they look like? What do they want? What do they believe? And this is all very complicated because they believe in religious things. They're following a god. Then I have to go look up, what is this god? What does this god want? They had some very specific, unique items in their possession, which are not described there. So I had to then go to the sort of magic items list in another appendix and then look up, well, what does this magic razor do? And what is this thing called an oubliette mean in this game context? So I had to keep cross-referencing across the book to figure out, what is this encounter on page 90? Which was a little frustrating, but it's something that is quickly gotten over just by bookmarking the sections of the book that are important and then getting used to flipping back and forth and finding the information that I needed. But not the way that I would have done it. But all of this is to say, if you are curious about story games or rules-light games, extremely light games, you could do worse than to check out Wraithlands. It has an amazing setting, again, inspired by Scottish folklore. It's an island that used to be ruled by these intensely strange and chaotic tree folk, and the tree folk saints and knights. But it has now been overrun and captured by these evil lawyer devils who are controlling everything and everyone, and they have imposed a law upon the land that no one can die, and everyone must serve them forever. Which is pretty intense. It's pretty grim and gritty, and there's a heavy metal aesthetic to it. I love. The art was fantastic. The gameplay, again, is super simple. It's easy to learn. It's easy to run. All in all, I think it's a pretty great book. So that's all I've got for this week. I hope you find that interesting. I hope you go check out Wraithlands. And until next time, good luck out there. Hey everyone, if you like this content and you want to see more, or if you just want to support the channel, you can head over to my Patreon, where I have a whole bunch of stuff being queued up. We have dev notes for my adventures, we have my fantasy novels, we have early access to videos, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So please go check out my Patreon at patreon.com/josephrlewis. Thanks.